the Survivor episode for Star Trek, the animated series, you see an episode that takes advantage of what they can do with animation. Now, granted, it's not the greatest animation ever done, but it does afford them the ability to expand on depiction of alien creatures in this episode. So the Enterprise is patrolling near the Romulan neutral zone, and they come upon this ship, and there's this man aboard named Carter Winston, who has some amount of notoriety or fame or what have you, and they thought he had been he was missing, and they were believed dead and all this stuff, and they're like, oh wow, well, what are the odds we could find this guy, and all that. But he's described as being this wealthy philanthropist, and I was, we go back and forth with Star Trek about, oh well, there's no possessions and there's no money and all that sort of stuff, and I was like, there isn't. And then it's like, well, and then you run into things where you think, well, maybe they should have some sort of something, but what have you, but or maybe he was just really good at designing something. But anyway, the philanthropist, so it was like, oh well, how is this philanthropy helping if no one really needs any wealth or anything? But anyway, that's how he's described. But he disappeared, and so now they found him, and it turns out, what are the odds, that his were they married or fiance? I can't remember which now. But anyway, his lady love is an officer on the Enterprise, and she's, oh God, so happy to see you, and you're back and everything. Well, he's rather cold to her, and says, well, I've changed. His story is that he was found by some alien creatures that helped him heal or what have you, and all that stuff. But due to what he's been through and the passage of time, that he says he doesn't really feel the same about her anymore, and that for her own good, she should move on. So she's rather heartbroken about this and everything. Well, all is not right with Carter. He puts his hands together, and suddenly he shapeshifts into Kirk. He knocks out Kirk. He impersonates him and orders the Enterprise into the neutral zone. So he's a shapeshifter, and we see what he really looks like is some sort of tentacled floating jellyfish guy, which would not have been easy to do for the TV show. I suppose they could have had some little puppet on wires and whatnot, but even that would have been cumbersome. It wouldn't have looked very good. But the cartoon can do this rather easily, And so that's the deal. It's not really him. It's an alien. And he goes around impersonating this one and that one. He impersonates Dr. McCoy and so on and so forth. He's a spy planted there by the Romulans who were after the Enterprise. So it's all set up. The alien himself is a bit of a reject from his own planet, which has set him up for being manipulated by the Romulans for this mission and all that. So that's the explanation for it. But he copied Carter Winston a little too much. The story about helping him or whatever, some alien, that bit was a bit true in that he tried to help Carter, but Carter was too badly injured or what have you, and he died. But their time together, whatever, he copied Carter a little too well, and so now he has feelings for Carter's girlfriend here or whatever. And she's like taking a liking to him too, so it's well, I'll just stay looking like Carter. And they want to go off and live happily ever after. Of course, he's going to have to stand trial and all that, but Kirk says, hey, I'll put in a good word for you, buddy, because they outfox the Romulans and escape and everything, But, so, gee, I guess it all works out. She's already seen this creature, what he looks like, but, it's the distant future, and maybe people's tastes change. But so Jellyfish Man's in love with this girl, and apparently she feels the same way. So there you go. It was a more interesting episode than the previous one, which was just a redo of the triples, but again, yes, one of these episodes that shows you what's possible and how much more alien you can have of life forms instead of just being another human that's with paint or rubber on the nose or whatever it was. And so that's one of the advantages that the cartoon show of Star Trek had. Yeah. And so there you go. A little weird, but, it's an okay episode. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.